I've uh, I've witnessed. Let me say this: I grew up watching Mike Tyson and greatest boxer of all time. In fact, Muhammad Ali called him the greatest in the world. And a lot of people will say that it was Buster Douglas that knocked him out, and he could never come back. And of course, he couldn't go back to his championship status after that. I'm here to tell you, Mike Tyson took Mike Tyson out, the greatest of all time. Went to the canvas. I hated it. I was a huge fan of the boxing Mike Tyson. In fact, I couldn't sleep the night he got beat. Had a hard time going to bed that night. In fact, I woke up the next morning and prayed it was a bad dream. And that was back a long time ago. So I had to turn on the TV to ESPN. I had to wait for it to circulate to get back through before it told me what had happened. And I get it that most people think, well, he lost that fight, therefore he can never regain. But mentally, I've seen great leaders, I've seen great people mentally not be able to get back up off the canvas and redo what they had done. You see it in sports all the time. You also see the other side where people do get knocked down in sports. Kurt Warner could be one of those. The dude that's won more Super Bowls than anybody, the coach of the Patriots. He got fired at one point. So mentally, what happens when you get beaten up? See, I believe that physically, the majority of us can do everything we need to do. I believe that with everything in my body. I run marathons and I've ran some ultra marathons, and I'm pretty proud of the physical abuse I've put myself through, the pain I've been able to endure and physically win. One of my toughest marathons was in Waco, and my feet, I don't know what happened. It's never happened before, but both of them started getting blisters. Mile 19, I still had 7 miles to go. And I ran for those 7 miles. I didn't stop. Most painful thing I've ever been through. And while I'm happy and I get fired up about some of my physical accomplishments, I'm more proud of the mental things that I've overcome. Getting knocked down, getting completely kicked out, being fired, and mentally being able to pick yourself up and go. It's tough. When Iron Mike Tyson got beat, man, he wouldn't shut up. He was horrible. He started talking trash, and that man never talked trash before he lost. I mean, he talked a little trash, but not much. He'd walk into the ring with just a little white towel around his neck, go in there and just take care of business. Wouldn't say hardly a word. But when he got beat, then he started talking a lot, start talking trash. The stupid things he would say. I'm not even going to repeat them. Keep in mind, I'm a huge fan of this man. I wish he would have gotten someone great around him. There's rumors that George Foreman reached out to him and said, "Hey, man, let me help you." He pushed him away. And that's what happens when you physically get beat, then mentally you start beating yourself bad, and you start pushing people away that could help you. And it went downhill from there. Um, Here's the crazy thing: he still had the physical attributes that did not change. He still was the same guy that knocked people out. He had the same talent. So that didn't change. What changed? It's his mental state. So while I'm fired up about some of the physical things I put my body through, I love it, man. I love crossing that finish line, knowing what I just put myself through. It's a high like nothing else. I'm more proud of getting up after going to the canvas in life. And I could talk about that forever, but I won't. Thank God I had a mother who showed me how to do that. I watched her go to the canvas of life, and all 5 foot of her picked herself up and went out and just became crazy successful. So when you get beat, what you doing? I'm gonna give you some advice. Shut up. Put your head down. Get after it. Mike started blaming everybody. I watch leaders do that. I watch great producers on this team that got beat up a little bit. They start to do that. They start blaming everybody around them. Uh, Talk nasty about everything, just like Mike did. Like I said, I'm not going to repeat the things he said. Just shut up. I go back to they they took my house because I didn't pay my taxes. They deserve to. My fault. Pick myself up. Go. Never borrowed a dime. Never borrowed a dime from anybody. Didn't go run into my mom and dad, grandparents. Didn't borrow a dime. Put my head down, shut up, went to work, fixed it. Proud of that. Proud of the moment that I finally went to the canvas of life and quit drinking. Be 10 years this coming May. You would think once you quit drinking, everything just works out. It does not, because you create a trail of garbage. Proud of myself, picked myself up. Now, saying all that, I had great people in my life, man. God, I had some great people. And thank you, God, that I listened to those great people, that my ego didn't take over like Mike's did. What could he have accomplished? Man, he got beat by an average guy with a punch that came from nowhere that you think took out his career, which, okay, on the surface, it looks that way. But Mike Tyson took Mike Tyson out after that fight. Again, I loved watching him. I studied him. He gave us short guys hope. I loved it. I loved the way he just shut up, walk in that ring, and just go to town. I watched his moves. I watched his offense, his defense. He had the best defense that turned into offense. It was none other. But one time he went down. So I get people that come to me in this business and start to tell me everything that's happened to them before and how they went to the canvas of life. And that's why I'm telling you this right now. Who cares, man? I'm going to tell you what you need to do. I'm going to need you to shut up and get after it. That's it. Shut up and go. You ain't got to talk about it no more. You don't speak of it. You just go. It'll work out. Keep your head down, because it's physically already inside of you. The talent's already inside of you. I promise it is. I'm going to go out on a limb. The majority of us already have it inside of us. It's done. Check. It's mentally. Can we handle it? Most cannot. I look forward to watching you succeed. I look forward to watching you shut up and go. So I'm telling you, everything's already inside of you. Mentally, you got to get it figured out. Adios.